Happy 2021. You made it to a new year, maybe $600 richer. Maybe you're still waiting for your check like me. But in this video, I'm going to show you how you can turn that $600 into $25,000 or more. Let's just jump right into it. Alright, so getting right to the point, the way that you can turn your $600 stimulus check into $25,000 or more is with Leeloo. Alright, and so if you don't know what Leeloo is, Leeloo allows you to trade futures with their money in a performance account. Alright, so if you want more information about that, I'll put a link to a video where I go into more detail about Leeloo and my journey with Leeloo and how it took me a few months to get into their performance account. So that video will be linked in this video somewhere, or it'll definitely be in the description below. All right, so this is not going to be like, this is not something that's going to be overnight by any means. You're definitely going to have to work at it. This is not going to be to get the full advantage of Leeloo. It's not something that you're going to be able to get the massive benefits of it from overnight. You got to put in the work. You got to do your due diligence. You know what I'm saying? You got to learn how to trade. Okay. And I mean, with all the information out there today on this video, on other YouTube videos or other YouTube channels, or just doing some Google searches, real life trading, that's another one that I promote all the time. Or you can even invest. But what we're talking about here is we're talking about trading. Okay. And but the whole point that I'm trying to make right now is, if there's something that has a higher priority that you need to use your $600 stimulus check for, like you need to eat right now or something like that, then definitely take care of that. But this is for if you just have your $600 stimulus check, you don't have any high priority things that you need to take care of, but you would definitely like to get the most out of that $600, because I mean, let's face it, the government, they could have definitely did better with that. I know they're ironing all this stuff out right now, but we're not even gonna worry about that. We're gonna focus on the positive. Okay. All right. So if you want to make the most out of your $600 stimulus check, then what you can do with it is you can learn how to trade if you don't know how to do so already, and then you can open up an account with Leeloo, and you can go through their evaluation phase, show them that you know how to trade and you can be profitable by all of the information is right in here. And you can effectively turn your $600 into $25,000 or more. All right. So what this does is it gives you access to more money that you can do more with, right? So with me, the reason why I use Leeloo is because I was trading with a small account before, when I was learning how to trade. But once I started to figure it out, I was kind of limited by the strategy, by what I could do, because I was trading in a small account. So I'm leveraging Leeloo's I'm leveraging this Leeloo account to be able to trade a little more freely now that I actually know how to trade, right? So they have different options. If you're already proven that you can be profitable, but you just don't have the cash right now, they have this Leeloo Express where if you can make $6,000 from the futures market, following these rules right here, within 14 trading days, just for $77, you will get access to that $100,000 trading account or performance account, right? All right, so you have your other evaluation accounts over here where you're day trading futures, but they have their own targets and their own rules. But however long it takes you, there's no time limit that you have to do it within. Unlike this Leeloo Express, you have to do it within 14 days. With these other ones, you can do it however long it takes you. If it takes you 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, whatever, you have your monthly fee that you pay every month that it takes you to do it. And this is where your $600 comes in, because your $600 is going to pay for your monthly fee, right? So if it takes you less than 30 days to make $1,500 trading, whatever futures contracts you want to trade, following these rules, not losing no more than $1,500 at a time, then all you will use out of your $600 is $145, and then you can start earning real cash after you pass their evaluation phase and you jump into a performance account, right? So there's a $25,000 account, there's a $50,000 account, they have a $100,000 account, that have a $150,000 account. For your $600, the highest you can go just with that $600 is $250,000. And if you got a little more, if you can bump 75 more into that, you can get to $300,000. Now, my recommendation, especially if you're just starting with trading or you don't have a lot of experience, is these other ones. That's, the 150, 250, the 300. What is it? The $300,000. All of these different. You don't really need to waste your time with those. Okay. My recommendation would be to go with the $50,000. Okay. I think you would get the most bang for your buck, so to speak. That's the one that I chose, especially if you're starting out. With this trailing drawdown, you have, $2,500. So that gives you a lot of flexibility with what you can do, and you're not trying to trade a strategy outside of what works best for you, because you're limited by how much you can lose or how much you can draw down. Because trading is not an easy thing to do, but it's definitely possible. And there are a lot of people that are making a lot of money, especially in 2020. With the increased volatility, there's been a lot of opportunities to make a lot of money in the stock market or the futures market or whatever corner of the financial markets that you want to trade in. All right, so my recommendation if you're getting started out would be to go with this $50,000. Right, you can't, but you can do whatever you want to. You can go with the 145. I would say max go with this $100,000, the climb account. But the reason, $6,000, if you haven't made that much money in the stock market before, can, just psychologically, that can be a tough thing to do. So just, that's just my personal recommendation, is to go with the launch, the $50,000 account. Now, this is day trading that I'm talking about right now. So if you're not into day trading and you want to do more of swing trading, then you can use this glide account, right? So basically, if you don't know what swing trading is you're holding the position overnight. Okay, so they give you several different options, and like I said before, if you want to know more about Leeloo, I will link a video where I go into more detail about Leeloo and my journey, going from the evaluation phase to the performance to a performance account. I'll link that in the description below. Also, there should be a link in this video. All right, so if you are just getting started, if you haven't started trading before, or you're just now getting into, if you haven't proved that you can trade profitably yet, I wouldn't recommend jumping right into this. The way I would recommend that you do it is you take your $600, find somewhere to park it where it's accruing interest for you, so you can park it in a high interest rate savings account. There's one with Capital One. There's you can check your bank. Maybe your bank has a good place for you to store your money. You can even put it in a CD or something. The last thing that I would do with it is put it in just a regular checkings account where it's not doing anything for you, right? And where you'll be tempted to use it. So if you're going to go this route with your stimulus check, then the way that I recommend you do it is, first, you're going to park it somewhere where your money is going to make more money for you, and you're not putting it at a lot of risk, and it's not easy for you to touch it. So while your stimulus check money is sitting in an account where it's earning interest for you, and you can't touch it until you're ready to do this, right? What you're going to be doing is you're going to be learning how to trade profitably. If you haven't already proven to yourself, and to yourself, not to anyone else, to yourself, that you can trade profitably, any market, doesn't matter what it is, you're gonna be taking that time to learn how to trade profitably. So you're gonna take that time to find a strategy, how to adjust that strategy to fit your personality, to where that you can consistently gain profits over an extended period of time. Okay, now some tips on how you can do that. You can open an account with TD Ameritrade, and the last time I checked, I don't think you still don't need any money to have an account with TD Ameritrade and get access to their resources. You just, if you take $50, because there was a time I only had like $50 in my TD Ameritrade account when I wasn't really using it. But so anyway, without getting too sidetracked, you could take that. You can open up an account with TD Ameritrade. That will give you access to their Thinkorswim platform, where you can start, getting your hands dirty, or you can start getting hands-on experience with trading, just trading, period. Okay, so the way that I would recommend to do it is to look and study up on the futures market. You're gonna go to, there's a couple of resources that you can go to. One of them would be, all right, you can go directly to the source. You can go to cmegroup.com. All right, and we're gonna load up. And under this education tab right here, you can look over all of this if you want to. You can browse it, learn about the futures market. If you don't already know about it, you can go right here to under the education tab, and then they have some courses and some lessons that'll tell you everything that you need to know about the futures market, right? Also, you can another resource is kind of helpful. You can go to investopedia.com, right? And they also have an education section, okay, that tells you about anything that you want to know: stocks, mutual ETFs, mutual funds, all of that stuff. But what you really want to go to is trading essentials, okay? Because we want to learn how to trade, and learning how to trade can be helpful with whether you're trading, investing, or whatever. Okay. Now, my favorite resource to learn how to trade. Okay, you can go right here, and and before I mention them, let's not forget about mv3trader.com. I have some strategy building tips over here, but my main focus is on the strategy. So once you learn the basics of trading, you can head on over to mv3trading.com and you can get some insight and information about how to develop and build a strategy. Okay, all right, so going back to this, reallifetrading.com, they have some online courses that are free. They have these beginner courses, the beginner trading courses, intermediate, advanced. They even have a trading course on the futures market, and all of this is absolutely free. Okay. Now, why I like and I prefer real life trading is because that's how I learned how to trade, basically. And the information that I gain from real life trading, as if you have heard anything about risk and the stock market and the risk of trading, you probably have heard of people who have blown out accounts, meaning that they kept trading to a point to where they lost all the money that they had in their account. Now, with all that being said, the reason why I prefer and why I like the courses at Real Life Trading is because the information that I gained from them as far as risk management, that helped me to not ever blow out an account, right? So I never traded an account down to where I don't know what a margin call, like I know what it is, but I never experienced a margin call firsthand. I never traded any of my accounts down to where I didn't have any more money in the account, or where I absolutely couldn't take another trade without putting more money into it, right? So that's been the information that I gained from real life trading in terms of how to trade has been the most valuable information that I've gained from all the books that I've read, from all the other resources that I've taken information from off the internet or wherever. Other than my personal experience is going to be your number one best friend, of course. But in terms of external information that's helped me with my trading career, this has been the most valuable information that I've gained, because it taught me how to appropriately manage my risk, and it taught me good risk management. So this is a resource that I highly recommend. Now, like I said before, if you want to know all the ins and outs of the futures market or whatever market that you're trying to learn about or trade, or if you really want to get deep into the whys and the how of the markets, then for futures, you can go to cmegroup.com. Also, if you open an account with TD Ameritrade, they also have a lot of helpful courses over there as well, all for free. So the last thing I want to talk about is why I would even recommend trading in the first place. So 2020 was definitely an interesting year, to say the least, to put it mildly. There's a lot of, influencers on social media, or there's a lot of people talking on social media, whether it's influencers or friends or family, and even in the mainstream media that likes to focus on, for some reason, everybody or not everybody, but a lot of people like to focus on the negativity. But I'm the type of, well, there can't be any negative without, positive. So 2020 was, while it was definitely had its moments, and plenty of them, there also was some good things that happened in 2020, right? There was a positive side of 2020, and one of that is the performance of the market. And what I mean by that, so if we look at the chart here, All right, and this is a chart of all of the index futures. You got the Dow up here in the top left. You got the NASDAQ, which is what I like to trade. You got the E-mini Russell down here to the lower right, and you got the S&P 500 to the lower left. All right, so the reason why I'm even bringing this up is because if you look right here, this is the beginning. Let's see. This is a weekly, so this is the first week. From the first week of, let me make that a little bit bigger. All right, so the first week of 2020, you see we had this nice little drop here in March, okay? But what this did, or what happened after that, is we had this nice little run up right here. And in this run up, especially if you're day trading, there were tons and tons of opportunity. Okay, so we had this increase in volatility, right? And as you know, if you're not familiar with that term, this volatility means that the price is moving a lot. That's all you really got to know about it. Like I said, as you learn, you know, as you start to learn more about trading and investing, you'll be more familiar with these words. All right, so we're gonna look at the Dow Jones because this is the market that, you know, the mainstream media and a lot of people like to, you know, reference and make their comparisons with. All right, so I'm going to open this up, put it in the center, make a couple of adjustments. All right. All right, so if we just focus on this, this is a just from top to bottom. It's not perfect, of course, but like this is over 69% of a change here. So within this, there's been a lot of opportunities to make, you know, a lot of money, right? So this has been this has been the most volatile year that I have seen personally. I think also, like, in performance wise, if we go over here to, this is microtrends.net, and I'm kind of jumping all over the place, but you know, this is what kind of there's a few points that I want to make. We see we had for 2020 we had an annual change of 7%. But that's only accounting for, let's go back to the chart. That's only counting from the open, which is basically right here, to the high. Okay, so that's not the full picture. You got all of this room in here, all of this trading that happened below the iceberg, pretty much, to where you had tons of opportunity. And just to be honest with you, in terms of swing trading and also day trading, a lot of millionaires were made in this move right here throughout the whole year, throughout 2020. There's been the people who were had the insight to get into trading and get into the stock market. There's been a lot of millionaires that have been made in 2020, okay? Just from this move alone, okay? All right, so if we look at it from just a yearly performance, this hasn't even been the best. You know, there's some headlines out there about, you know, this has been a record-breaking year or the best year for Wall Street or whatever, which is kind of not true, because you can't just. The only reason they're really saying that because that we closed the year, or we ended the year, we saw new all-time highs within the year, and of course they're mainly looking at the Dow, but all of the indices saw new all-time highs, really, because if you look at this, if you go back over here, and I'm gonna stop jumping around in a minute, but but you know, you can see all of these, you know, the Dow, the NASDAQ, new all-time highs. We saw new all-time highs back in, what is this, in June. All right, the Dow just saw new all-time highs in December. Okay, the S&P saw new all-time highs for the year, right? For the year in August. I got my little thing down here that's in the way. All right, so yeah, so that happened in August, and then the Russell broke into new all-time highs in November. Okay, so we can see like all of the markets, they, you know, saw new all-time highs, you know, in 2020. This is why they saying that 2020 has been the best year for Wall Street, or whatever the headline is. But if you zoom out and look at the big picture, you do also have to account for this drop right here. So if you just pay attention to, you know, what I have highlighted here, there was a lot of opportunities to not only make back what you could have possibly lost, you know, in this drop right there. If you were smart enough to either hedge that or get out at the right time, You know, you could have saved yourself some money in that drop. But even if you didn't, even if you ate this whole, you know, sell off right there, you could have positioned yourself, you know, with the right mentality and with the right information and the right strategies and all of that stuff, right? You could have positioned yourself to where you would have made all of that back plus some, plus a lot more in all of this volatility as we climb back into new all-time highs. Okay, so the reason that I'm saying all this is there's a lot of opportunity, and I'm not seeing the volatility slow down, you know, much at all as of yet. But there's still there's a lot of opportunity to make a lot of money with the stock market, and that has been one of the positive parts of 2020. A lot of millionaires were made in 2020, right, from the stock market alone. Okay, so that gives you with two choices. All right, you can either focus on the negative sides of 2020. You know, you can continue to live in that negativity, or you can choose to focus on the positive and then take advantage of the positive. Okay, all right, so the main reason, you know, that I made this video was to talk about how you can take that $600 and make the most of it. This is just one thing that you can do. You can take that $600 and you can start a business doing something else. You can open an e-commerce store, or, you know, definitely e-commerce is not going anywhere. And in fact, since people are staying at home more often and they are ordering offline more, e-commerce is actually set to grow much more in the near and distant future, right? So you can do that. You can get into retail arbitrage. You can get onto social media. You can start providing services to people. You can, you know, start providing services to other businesses, or you can get into affiliate marketing. You have a lot of options of things that you can do. Okay, and if you want to know more information about all of that, I'm gonna really start giving, you know, more attention to mv3trader.com and start putting more information there. mv3trader.com is going to be your go-to resources for how you can make money online, whether that's through the stock market or through something else. So there's this a tab here for Profit Pros, and the information that I put here is going to give you some insight on how you can start generating additional income to, you know, in addition to whatever you're doing right now, whether that you have a full-time job, or if you're, you know, trading the stock market, or if you're investing. This will give you some insight on how you can make even more money outside of what you're already doing. Okay, so I'm gonna stop repeating myself and I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this one up. I hope it was helpful, and, you know, in the comment section below, let me know if you're, you know, what you're gonna do with your $600 check. If you want to share the information, or, you know, whatever you want to share in the comment section below, go ahead and put that down there. You know, like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff, and I will see you guys on the next one. Trade it easy.